The issue last night was a town hall on climate change. I have concerns about environment. Who doesn't? I've been to China, okay? I know what it's like when you got countries that don't protect. I like clean air. I like clean water. I want to protect the environment. There's conservative ways of doing that. We call it conservation. There's ways to do that. But let me tell you one way not to do it. One way not to do it is to say we're going to increase the numbers of abortion to protect the climate. And that was actually, first of all, I cannot even believe that was a question asked, but we're going to play the question, let alone Senator Sanders' answer. So I want you to listen really careful to this.
Human population growth has more than doubled in the past 50 years. The planet cannot sustain this growth. I realize this is a poisonous topic for politicians, but it's crucial to face. Empowering women and educating everyone on the need to curb population growth seems a reasonable campaign to enact. Would you be courageous enough to discuss this issue and make it a key feature of a plan to address climate catastrophe?
She doesn't say in there, by the way, abortion, okay? Yeah. Although, she's talking about curbing population growth. But that could have been through, birth control, whatever. But Bernie Sanders cannot resist the moment to mention the Mexico City policy, which is a limitation on U.S. funding of overseas abortions. It's been around a long time. Here's his answer.
Well, Martha, the answer is yes. And the answer has everything to do with the fact that women in the United States of America, by the way, have a right to control their own bodies and make reproductive decisions. And the Mexico City Agreement, which denies American aid to those organizations around the world that allow women to have abortions.
She doesn't even say abortion in her question, although that's clearly inference. He has to double down on abortion right there. I'm going to play the rest of it in a moment, but go ahead.
Yeah, first of all, Bernie Sanders also acts like in America, abortion is free. It's not. We have the Hyde Amendment that makes sure that our government does not pay for your taxpayer dollars, do not pay for abortion procedures. So why should we be doing that for people overseas if we don't allow it in our own country?
Well, I'll tell you why. Because according to Bernie Sanders, it curbs the curb of the population through abortion will increase and protect the environment. Why don't we? You get rid of the entire population? You wouldn't have an environmental problem.
This is how you end up with one-child policies.
This is sick.
This is how you end up
sick
with the one-child policies like in China.
Yeah, they got plenty of pollution,
and they still have plenty of pollution. But this is how you end up with those kind of policies. Second, he is totally inaccurate on the Mexico City policy. It does not ban birth control at all or the distribution of birth control at all. Not at all.
Let me play the rest of this. Go ahead. Here's the rest of Bernie Sanders' answers.
So I think, especially in poor countries around the world, where women do not necessarily want to have large numbers of babies, and where they can have the opportunity through birth control to control the number of kids they have, something I very, very strongly support.
So I want people to understand what the man just said, the senator said, and I want to go to Sam Bennett on this. He said, increase the availability of abortion will protect the environment.
There were so many different ways he could have gone on this, Jay. How about answering it from the perspective of how do we sustain this growth? We're going to embrace people, when we embrace population. How do we sustain that growth? No, he went right to abortion. And let me just underscore what Jordan said here, Jay, because he also fundamentally misunderstands the policy of the Trump administration. It's now called the Protecting Life in Global Health Assistance Policy. It used to be the Mexico City policy. But, Jay, if there's a foreign NGO that wants to provide birth control, you might think that's a good idea or a bad idea. But either way, that is not prohibited under the policy. The policy says a foreign NGO who performs or promotes abortion may not receive U.S. taxpayer dollars. So he is fear-mongering when it comes to birth control, Jay. Not only does he support limiting the population using abortion, he's lying to do it, and he really needs to be called out for it.